All right, everybody, welcome to another edition of Star Wars Talk. Lively discussion yesterday. We had some discussion about the likelihood that Luke is already dead. So please check that out. Also check out, we did a look at the new Dark Side teasers, discussed Spielberg seeing the movie, and we looked at some new quotes from J.J. Abrams, and we also talked about some quotes from Mark Hamill. So, all in all, a lively discussion yesterday. Hopefully, you guys get a chance to check those out. Today, we're going to be looking at Star Wars Rogue One. Not a whole lot of news coming out of Star Wars Rogue One. Mainly just set that they're still filming, so you're getting some set things that are coming out. Um, as we move forward, I'm thinking after the hype from Episode 7 comes down, we're going to get a lot of information about Rogue One. Um, but one of the things that did come out, I think it was yesterday, um, was that there was some discussion about whether or not Rogue One was going to have a post-credit sequence on um, The Force Awakens. And I would have to think yes. I would have to think yes. For the simple reason that it would be ridiculous for them to lose the momentum that they built um, from Star Wars. So there's never before been a movie that has been hyped as much as this has been. So when you think about it like that, most people have no idea, and I say most people, I mean like the general public, non-Star Wars geeks who've been following all the Star Wars news with, you know, uh, bright eyes and a fuzzy tail, just sitting there, can't wait for anything to do with it. Um, but for the for the general public, they're not going to have much of a clue about what's been going on in the Star Wars world, about the difference between the Skywalker saga and the new anthology films that are coming out. And you would think that they would start by capitalizing on an anthology film with characters that they already know. So like Boba Fett or Han Solo first. But they didn't. They went with this very obscure story about the rebels that stole the plans for the first Death Star, which led you into A New Hope. So I have to think that they are going to capitalize on this. Um, I would say it's going to be a mid-credit sequence, maybe even an early credit sequence. I definitely see them doing something. I've heard everything from a teaser to a to an actual scene. Now, the other thing that they could do is it was about a year from the time that The Force Awakens came out that they put out the first teaser for The Force Awakens. So I think it's certainly possible that we get just a teaser trailer in front of the Force Awakens. I think that would actually be better than doing a post-credit sequence. Although I know that people are real big on the post-credit sequence because of Marvel, but I just don't see them doing anything too extravagant or showing too much. But I do see them doing something. I do see them showing probably Vader, even if you don't actually get to see Vader, but maybe just hear him breathe. Um, Hear one or two lines of dialogue, maybe even just one quick 2 or 3 word line of dialogue in that lovely James Earl Jones Vader voice. Um, I have to think they're going to do something, just because there's going to be too much of an audience, too much there for them not to capitalize on the momentum going into The Force Awakens. So um, I definitely see them doing something. Um, the other thing is that let's see here, Mads Mikkelsen was recently in the news discussing Rogue One and talking about his role in the film. Not really. I mean, again, not really a lot here. Not really talking about too much about his character. Um, and so just talks about how he enjoys it. Um, yeah, I don't have much at all on Rogue One, but I've been getting a lot of people saying that. Um, I've been getting a lot of people saying that they want to hear some Rogue One talk, but the only thing I could think to talk about is, well, it's coming. It's coming. We're gonna have something soon here in the next few weeks about Rogue One. I definitely think we'll have a teaser, maybe a post-credit scene, um, just showing some battle sequences and things like that. But all in all, I don't think um, you're going to get too much. I'm looking here. There's a couple of articles discussing exactly what we're talking about. Um, Putting the teaser in the post-credit sequence for The Force Awakens. Again, I think if you're going to do a teaser, you do it before the film. You do it before the film. If you're going to do a post-credit sequence, let's do a scene, or let's do some clips, small clips cut together from the movie. But let's not do a teaser, because not everybody stays for the post-credit sequence. And I throw myself in that group. Even at the Marvel films, I'll catch the post-credit sequence online. My wife and I typically want to get the heck out of there while everybody else is sitting around staring at the credits. So not everybody sticks around. I think if you're going to promote this new movie, you need to do it before the film, right before the film. Maybe the very trailer going into the film. Just because having that Vader breathing and everything else, I think is going to be a lot for people. It'll be very nostalgic, get them in the mood. But really, I mean, we've seen just a few little things from Rogue One. Not seeing really anything that is going to lead me to believe that we're going to get too much. I don't think we'll get both, but both, as in both the trailer and the post-credit sequence. But it's really tough to tell. It's really tough to tell. This film looks to just be completely different than any other Star Wars film, and I mean that in the best possible way. You're talking about a film that is not about the Skywalkers. The first film that is not really about the Skywalkers, not about Anakin. It's not about it's nothing to do with that world. This is about a group of probably, I'm not even going to say probably, 90% sure there's not going to be a Force user amongst them, with the exception of Anakin or Vader, who will be in there hunting them. But again, we know that the central story is not going to be revolving around Vader. It's going to be revolving around them stealing these plans. And Vader really doesn't come in until after the plans are already stolen, to start hunting down whoever took them. So I imagine his involvement is going to be towards the very end of the film. And, other than cameos and things like that. So I don't see him being a large part of it. So this film is it's different. The way they're going to market it is going to be different. And I think that because of that, they're going to have to build this momentum going into The Force Awakens. You're going to have the biggest movie audience in the history of films, likely. Um, I think one record that's for sure going to fall is Jurassic World's uh, $208 million or whatever it is. I'd see them easily eclipsing that. Certainly, maybe not the first weekend, but or the first week, I would see them easily eclipsing over 200 million. So you're going to have the largest weekend of moviegoers in history. And so how do you not take a film that is relatively obscure to the general public, and it's going to be the next shoe that drops for Star Wars next year? How do you not promote it at this point? So I think that's kind of what we're going to do. We really don't have much on the characters of Rogue One. I have been reading. It looks like somebody said that the story is going to have an Ocean's 11 vibe. I hope not, as in I hope it's really not that lighthearted. It looks to be. I've actually heard the opposite. So this is a story coming from Bustle.com when they're saying that the characters of Rogue One are relatively obscure, and they're said to and the movie is said to have had a Ocean's 11 vibe. I've actually heard more Saving Private Ryan vibe than Ocean's 11. That it's going to be more of a war film that involves them stealing. But you know, I definitely think they'll have to have some moments of lightheartedness, to keep it somewhat fun and magical. But I also think that it's going to be a much grittier, darker version of Star Wars. So the other stars that we know that we have Felicity Jones, Diego Luna, Alan Tudyk, Riz Ahmed. So we've got a pretty good cast. Very excited to see what's going to happen. Very excited to see how Rogue One kind of fits into the Star Wars world. But other than that, we're going to keep our eyes on the horizon. I imagine we're going to get a lot more Rogue One discussion as we move into the coming weeks. Like I said, there's no way they don't capitalize on this publicity. I mean, and especially with all of the TV spots and things that they've put out for Force Awakens, it's almost like they've overkilled the publicity there. So now, let's take it, now that you have all eyes on Disney, all eyes on Star Wars, how much further can they push it? And I almost guarantee they're going to start pushing Rogue One real soon. So anyway, that's the discussion for today. Yesterday we did 2 Star Wars talks, so hopefully you get a chance to go out there, check them out. And I hope you guys have a great one. Keep watching, keep listening. Please like, please subscribe. Take care.